Hello and welcome to Simple Conversations. I am Amy.
And I am John. We are so happy you are here with us today.
This podcast is for people who are learning English. We talk slowly and clearly, so it is easy to follow along.
Each episode, we have a friendly conversation about a topic from everyday life.
And today we are talking about a very special city, Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston is a city in the northeastern United States. It is one of the oldest cities in America.
It has a lot of history, beautiful parks, and amazing food.
Have you ever been to Boston, Amy?
I have. I visited Boston last spring. I loved it. What about you, John?
I went a few years ago. It was one of my favorite trips. I really want to go back someday.
Me too. Okay, let's start talking about Boston.
Let's go.
So, John, where do you think someone should start when they visit Boston?
That is a great question. I think the first place to visit is Boston Common. It is right in the heart of the city.
Oh, yes, Boston Common. It is a big, beautiful park. It is actually one of the oldest public parks in the entire United States.
That's right. People go there to walk, sit on the grass, and relax. In the summer, there are concerts and outdoor events.
And in the winter, there is an ice skating rink. I went skating there when I visited. It was so much fun.
That sounds really fun. Right next to Boston Common is the public garden. Have you been there?
Yes, the public garden is so beautiful. There are colorful flowers, big trees, and a small, calm lake.
And on the lake, there are these famous boats called swan boats. They look like swans, and you ride in them as they go slowly around the lake.
The swan boats are so charming. They have been there for over 100 years.
It is a perfect place for families, couples, or anyone who wants to enjoy some fresh air and nature in the city.
And it is free to walk through the garden. The swan boat ride costs a little money, but it is very affordable.
I think everyone who visits Boston should start their trip at Boston Common and the Public Garden. It gives you a lovely first impression of the city.
Absolutely, it really does.
Okay, so after Boston Common, where do you go next?
I would say the Freedom Trail is a must. Have you heard of the Freedom Trail, John?
Yes, the Freedom Trail is one of the most famous things in Boston. Can you explain what it is for our listeners?
Of course. The Freedom Trail is a walking trail. There is a red line painted on the sidewalk. You follow the red line through the city.
And as you walk, you pass by 16 very important historical sites.
That is right. These are places connected to the American Revolution. That was the war when the United States became an independent country more than 200 years ago.
You visit old churches, old cemeteries, and historic meeting houses. It is like walking through history.
One of my favorite stops is the Paul Revere House. Paul Revere was a very important person in American history.
Yes, he rode on horseback at night to warn people that the British soldiers were coming. It is a very famous story.
His house is the oldest remaining house in downtown Boston. You can go inside and see how people lived in the 1700s.
That is amazing. How long does it take to walk the whole Freedom Trail?
If you walk the whole trail, it is about 2.5 miles, around 4 kilometers. It can take 2 to 3 hours, depending on how much time you spend at each place.
You can also take a guided tour, which is a great way to learn the history.
Yes, the tour guides dress up in old-fashioned costumes and tell you stories about each place along the way.
I love that. It makes history feel very real and alive.
It really does. The Freedom Trail is something I think every visitor to Boston should experience.
All that walking on the Freedom Trail makes me hungry. Let's talk about a great place to eat in Boston.
Yes. Let's talk about Faneuil Hall and Quincy Market. This is one of the most popular places in all of Boston.
Faneuil Hall is a historic building. It was built in 1742. It was a place where people came together to discuss important ideas about freedom and democracy.
It is still a very important landmark today, but right next to Faneuil Hall is Quincy Market, which is a big, lively marketplace.
And the marketplace is wonderful. There are so many food stalls, restaurants, and shops.
You can find all kinds of food there: clam chowder, lobster rolls, pizza, sandwiches, pastries, really everything.
Oh, the clam chowder. Boston is famous for its clam chowder. It is a thick, creamy soup made with clams and potatoes.
It is delicious, and you can have it in a bread bowl. That means the soup is served inside a round loaf of bread. You eat the bowl too.
That sounds incredible. I could eat that every single day.
The area around Faneuil Hall is also great for shopping. There are small boutique shops and souvenir stores.
and there are often street performers outside, musicians, dancers, even comedians. It is very lively and entertaining.
It is a really fun place to spend an afternoon. You can eat, shop, and be entertained all in one place.
Faneuil Hall and Quincy Market really show the energy and the personality of Boston.
Okay, let's talk about one more wonderful place. This one is a little outside the city center, but it is very much worth the trip.
Are you thinking of Harvard University?
I am. Harvard is just across the river from Boston in a neighborhood called Cambridge.
Harvard is one of the most famous universities in the whole world. It was founded in 1636, making it the oldest university in the United States.
Walking through Harvard Yard, that is the main area of the campus, is really special. The old brick buildings are beautiful and very historic.
Even if you are not a student, you can walk around the campus freely. It is open to visitors.
And nearby Cambridge has wonderful coffee shops, bookstores, and restaurants. It has a very cozy, creative atmosphere.
It is easy to get to Harvard from downtown Boston on the subway. The ride is only about 15 minutes.
So even if you only have one day in Boston, you can still make a quick trip to Cambridge and Harvard.
I highly recommend it. It is a truly unique and inspiring experience.
It really is.
Well, I think that gives our listeners a wonderful picture of Boston.
Yes, we talked about so many great places today. Boston Common and the Public Garden, the Freedom Trail, Faneuil Hall and Quincy Market, and Harvard University in Cambridge.
Boston is a city that has something for everyone. History, nature, food, and culture. There is so much to see and do.
If you ever get the chance to visit, please go. You will not be disappointed.
And if you are using this podcast to practice your English, we hope today's conversation was helpful.
Remember, the best way to learn a language is to listen, repeat, and practice every day. You are doing a wonderful job just by being here.
Thank you so much for listening to Simple Conversations. We really appreciate your time.
We will see you next time when Amy and I will be exploring another exciting city together.
Until then, take care, keep practicing your English, and we will talk very soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.